Fultoncards here, live and direct from Brooklyn, New York City. Let's go. Something a bit different today. I haven't done one of these in a minute. A strategy group break video. So in front of me today, I don't have anything, but I will be providing you with a strategy for 2023-24 Upper Deck Clear Cut. Let's strut. So the idea is to buy spots, player name spots on eBay, and to see how well we can do by doing that as opposed to buying a single box. Now, let's get into the product a little bit, then we'll get into the strategy. So the product, as you can see, is one card per pack, one pack per box, one card per box. So that basically means that there's 15 boxes in an inner, there's 30 boxes in a complete case. So we're gonna enter a player name break, which is an entire 30 box case, 30 cards, 30 names that will be plucked, right? There can be dupes in cases, as we know. So what would be our strategy? So let's assume here it says $99, right up here it says $99 for a box. So let's spend the same amount of money we'd spend on a box on player names on eBay, and then we'll participate in the break, we'll watch the break, and we'll see whether we're able to hit at least one card. Hopefully more, hopefully we don't skunk, right? So what would my strategy be? What would my strategy be going into it? I know you guys can also buy random breaks. You can buy hit selects, which I do quite often. You can do player or team selects. But in order to do so, what you have to do is you have to analyze this checklist. So you have to see if you do a find, for example, for a player name. For example, you see Potra, he shows up 7 times, which is very prominent for this product. If you do, for example, the Bruins, they show up 41 times on the checklist, plus the parallels, etc. If you do, let's say, the Habs, so you do the Canadians, in contrast, they only show up 26 times. So you're probably twice as likely to hit a Bruin than you are a Hab, although it's not guaranteed and it depends on collation. All right, so we're not going to do a random, which takes all of the authority and control out of our hands. We're not going to do a team break, although I tell you Boston is pretty good value if you get the right price point for Boston because they hit very often. We're not going to do a hit select, although hit selects, you really do control your destiny because you can go by the odds. So you see here, the base rookie cards are 1 in 4 boxes, which is very prominent in comparison to contrast to 1 in 180 boxes, let's say for legends or whatnot. So let's get into our strategy. We'll get into our strategy, then we'll buy our player names on eBay, and then we'll watch the break and see how we do, right? Let's be strategic. So let's rip through the checklist super quickly just to get a sense of the checklist. You have your base autos, obviously short printed would be your big boys such as your Austin Matthews and your Connor McDavids, etc., Cale Makars. Here are the base autos, which are 1 in 4, so very prominent for Upper Deck Clear Cut. And again, you'll have super short printed autos in here, so don't expect to hit your Fantillis or your Bedards, by the way, very, very hard to hit. Here are the myriad black diamonds. These tend to be somewhat common compared to some of the other autos. Here are the Upper Deck Classic Portraits, tons of legends on here, 1 in 40, but your big boys will be short printed. Continuing on, you do have Sweet Shot autos, which are absolutely beautiful. You do have your canvas signatures, something we might want to target, for example. Champs autos are very prominent actually because they're 1 in 12 for the base and 1 in 10 for the rookies. Those are good odds for this particular product. The clearly revered, a lot of these will be numbered, so harder to hit. And you can see there's tribute autos. They say 1 in 45, but I really doubt that. You certainly won't hit a McDavid, but you could potentially. And then the Supreme Skills, 1 in 30, 1 in 17, so fairly prominent. Tons of update cards, so you might want to target the update cards because there are so many of them and a lot of them are just commons, true 2 of the 22 23s, and that should be the end of the checklist. So based on this, let's go into my notes. So let's take a peek at some of my notes. So based on those pack odds, I can divine the likelihood of hitting any particular type of insert. Very helpful for a hit select, by the way. So the Black Diamond Myriad, including the legends and the rookies and the vets, 8% odds, which is actually relatively high. So we might want to target those cards. They're beautiful looking cards, plus they're highly likely. The Upper Deck Authentics autos are also fairly likely, 6% odds. So maybe target some of the names on that checklist. Classic Portraits, possible but less probable. Sweet Shots, less probable, probably legends, tough hits. Think about some legends, but 1% odds is not great. True to the Canvas Rookie Debut signatures, you barely ever hit them. Base Canvas SIGs, 3% of the time. Okay, we might want to hit some of those Canvas signatures. They're beautiful signatures. 3% is maybe in the realm of possibility for a 30 box case. Champs autos, very likely, so we should pick names that are on this checklist. Clearly revered, less so. Supreme skill autos, 9% is very likely, so we want to hit or target some of the names on this checklist, maybe even legends on this checklist. Rookie tribute autos, really hard to hit. I think they underperform these particular odds. Update autos, over 5% guaranteed. I will target some of the most common of the updates. That's a good idea. And then canvas debut inserts. It's only the Bedard card, really tough to hit. So, you know, if you want to pay a lot of money for Bedard, you can, but that's binary. So that gives us an idea of which sub checklist to target. Part 2. So here is the strategy. This is my strategy based on looking at the checklist, analyzing the checklist. Let's go for prominent players. Let's pick a couple of players that we see all the time in group breaks, that when we do a quick find, a quick control F, those players appear 4 times, 5 times, 6 times on the checklist. So Middlestad I see all the time, Matt Savoy I see all the time, Owen Beck is a have and I see him all the time across checklists. Target him. So we're going to target some prominent players just to ensure we hit within the break. We want to hit somebody. Number 2, I mentioned that Boston is super prevalent on the checklist. Let's pick some Boston players. They have some great legend content. Boston Potra hits all the time, so we'll go for him if we can buy him affordably. Shot at the Or, shot at the Espo. I really want an Or Espo, so I'm going to maybe try to get Or if he's affordable. Let's also target legends more broadly who appear at least twice on the checklist. So I want to hit Carbonneau or Robinson. I want to hit guys like Liut. Whoever, Francis, guys who appear at least twice on the checklist, not just once, because then you're sort of very binary. Okay, let's also target rookies that have those Black Diamond myriads. Because I mentioned that they hit very often, Laferriere's there, Cooley's there, Levi's there, so let's try to hit one of the myriads. That'd be very cool. There's also mass-produced base rookie cards if we want to, again, coupled with our prominent player strategy, hit base rookie cards because they hit all the time. Guys like Fossil, Dearnay, Dewar, they hit all the time, so maybe we'll target one of those lowly guys. Upper deck canvas, I want an upper deck canvas. Levi would be a good option. Dostel, Gerard, Gartner, Robitaille. There's some great upper deck canvas, but we have to be careful not to only target short prints. Let's just see whether we could potentially get somebody on that checklist so we have an option for an upper deck canvas. Mass-produced base updates. Now, it's very strange. Some cases deliver a bunch of 2021 and 22 cards. Other cases deliver none. If you hit one of the cases that do, you can really hit a lot of the base update cards. Duchesne, Eichel, Letang, Ehlers, etc. So let's maybe hope for one of those. We'll target 1 or 2 of those. And if we get one of those mass-produced 21, 22, 22, 23 updates, we'll hit somebody. Feel-good legends. I want feel-good legends. I want Vachon. I want Francis. I want Heatley. I want Liut. I want legends, Esposito, Carbonneau, guys like that. So, but we're only going to target legends who appear multiple times on the checklist, not just on one sub-checklist. Okay, goalies, I always want to target a goalie. I want to target either Wolf or Levi, Shesterkin or Sorokin, Thompson, Liut, guys like maybe even Samsonov, target guys like that, but guys who appear on the checklist multiple times or are fairly common. So I'm going to try to opt for Wolf or Levi. I don't know if I'll be able to get Wolf because he usually goes for too much because he's like a Calder guy right now. Levi has a ton of upside and no one's focused on him, so let's maybe hit Levi. I'll also look for some halves. Robinson, Carbonneau, Suzuki, Beck for sure. Josh Anderson is on the updates checklist. I see him all the time. Maybe target him. And then again, go back to the prevalent sort of hit select themed cards. Champs are frequent, Black Diamond frequent, Supreme Skills are prevalent. Let's opt for those. So that's the strategy. So the eBay auction has ended. I just settled up. I'm going into my notes here to see what I accomplished by buying names on eBay for this particular break, 30 box break. And you can see I ended up paying $80 plus tax and shipping. So I ended up paying $98 all in. What did I say a box costs out of the gate on release day? $99. So I ended up paying the same amount. I stayed on budget. I was able to land 35 spots, averaging out to $2.80, including tax and shipping. That's a good price point. So I was able to secure 14% of all the names on the entire checklist. There are about 250 names that were being sold, about 250 names, separate names on the checklist. I secured 14% of them. So I ended up paying $98, which is basically the price of one box. So that's one box on 30 boxes. The price I ended up paying ended up being only 3.3% of the entire case, even though I landed 14% of the names. Great. So let's go up to the top here and let's see who I was able to secure. So Barkov appears 3-4 times on the checklist, including some pretty cool cards. I love him. Del Vecchio, a little bit of a stab in the dark because legends are a little bit less prominent, but I wanted him. I was targeting Bobby Orr because I know that Boston's very prominent. Bobby Orr is somebody I really want in this product, and he only cost me $4. All the names I secured for under $4.50, which was another strategy of mine I didn't mention off the top. I didn't want to get too steeped into legends because they can be a lot rarer, but Brian Chartier I got for $1.99. Casey Middlestat is on the Champs checklist. He's all over the checklist. He hits very often. Connor Zeri, Danny Heatley for 2. Devin Levi is a steal at $2.25. I wanted either Levi or Wolf. I took the Devin Levi because I was able to get him super cheaply. Grant Fuhr was a mistake. He only appears once on the checklist. He's really, really impossible to hit. I shouldn't have chosen him. In fact, I wanted the Carbonneau, and I was distracted at the time. I think I was texting my girlfriend, and I didn't get Carbonneau, and it actually pains me because if I hit Carbonneau now and I didn't get it, I could have gotten him for $2. It's going to really pain me because he's somebody I was targeting. I wanted either Shesterkin or Sorokin. I got Shesterkin. Eichel, an update. Joe Pavelski's all over the checklist, so he's worthwhile. Joe Thornton is sort of like a bucket list card for me in this product. So I'm trying for some of the Boston legends because I know Boston's prominent, Boston strong. Jonathan Huberdeau, very, very cheap. He's all over the updates. I targeted some goalies, so there you have Gibson, Josh Anderson. I targeted a Hab. 2021 and 22 updates. Chris Letang's in there. Larry Robinson. So I didn't get Carville, but I got Robinson. Lucas Dostal's a great one because he's all over the checklist, but he's on the Upper Deck canvases, so I'm targeting that. Matt Duchene's a very common update. Matt Savoy's all over the product, so I figured I'd take him, Coronado, a couple of guys who are all over the product to guarantee some hits. Poitras is a steal at $4. He too is very prominent on the checklist. Ehlers is an update. Owen Beck is all over the checklist. So targeting Habs, I targeted him. Michikov too is all over the checklist, including canvas cards that I wanted to target. Phil Esposito, again, on my Boston theme. Rogie Vachon's a feel-good hit if I can hit him, but it's not going to be easy. Ron Francis, another legend that I can target. Samuel Girard is all over the checklist. I think he's in the canvas. I know he's in the champ, so I'm targeting names that will probably hit. Spencer Knight is in the updates, and I think he has a couple of other cards on the checklist. He's in those Team USA cards as well. Thomas Hurdle is very, very prominent in the updates. Tony Twist is a legend who's prominent in the updates. Tariq RJ is all over the checklist. And Zach Werenski is a steal at $2. He's also all over the checklist. So can I outperform 14% of all the names on the checklist, noting that I only paid 3.3% of the case, right? So I've already gotten value, but now I have to hit. So let's get into the break. All right, so the break's about to start. I put it on double speed, so it goes fairly quickly. I have the names on the right there, all the names that I was able to secure. One thing I have to mention, guys, is before breaks, people are always thinking of upside. They're always dreaming of upside, but they never think about downside. When you spend your money, you have to understand that you're basically parting with your money with zero guarantee of hitting anything. So understand before you purchase that I could, secure 35 names and hit none, particularly because the Upper Deck Coalition can be very, very poor, whereby one person appears 3-4 times and another guy doesn't appear at all. So let's go. And this is why we analyze the checklist to up our odds based on the frequency of occurrences within the checklist. All right, so let's get going here. Double speed. Apologize for the garble.
It is going to be Mackie Samoskevich with a unique canvas signature. Not a number one, but there we go for Mackie. Not a bad.
Don't have Mackie Samoskevich. I do have Pavel Michikov.
It's a one-card magic here.
Wasn't able to secure Samoskevich.
Brandon Montour spot.
Montour is very common. I thought about getting him. He's all over the checklist. I already own a card. I've already hit him, so I didn't choose him.
Loves that. Here's a nice one. We got Dustin Wolf. Supreme skill.
This is painful. I wanted to bid on Dustin Wolf, but I chose Devin Levi. I think he was too expensive. Wolf was he went for $20 or something, which would have blown our budget. Would have blown a quarter of 20% of our budget. Hirose is a very common one, so it doesn't surprise me he hits. Didn't I say possible? This guy's all over the checklist. I wasn't able to secure him, or I decided not to because I know I can get him on eBay for $2.
It is a one-of-one outburst autograph for Alexander Romanov. Oh, that's a one-of-one action.
That's
The
painful.
Isles defenseman with a goal.
I considered
Let's
buying
go.
him, but
Down front center.
you know, I'm a bit indifferent to him.
It's a 1-on-1 action.
And someone was going to hit a 1-on-1, right? You know, so that's the benefit of this too, is when you buy 35 names, you increase the chances that if there ever is a 1-on-1, which are obviously case hits, that you could potentially up it. But 14% of all the names, the chance that I landed the Romanov 1-on-1, you know, there's an 86% chance that I don't land him, right? So there you go. But, you know, good on whoever hit the
I saw
1-on-1.
Rangers. It's Mark Messier with a sweet shot autograph.
That's painful
Oh,
as
legend
well.
now.
I really
That's
wanted
Messier's
Messier,
fun.
but I think he went for too much. I just wasn't going to blow my entire
Bring up Jeff.
budget. I just wasn't going to. And that's what you have to weigh.
Next one.
Are you going to blow your entire budget, you know, on one name? Or are you going to sort of cast a broad net, hit, feel good, stay amongst the law of averages, be reasoned and ratioed and diligent, or gamble? And what I try to teach on my channel is don't gamble, stay on the side of the odds, up your odds. All right.
It is going to be a rookie auto for Tyler Clevin.
This guy could have gone really easily. I mean, he's very prominent, but you know, again, you can get him on eBay for nothing.
Either way, we're on to the next one. It is going to be Hugh McKing.
Another guy very prominent. You can get him on eBay anytime. So yeah, I mean, I did try to get a couple of those names just to, you know, round out the
Hey,
break.
that's pretty nice. We got Pavel Minyakov.
There you go.
Here's this one.
There you go. So, okay, I was getting scared. I wasn't hitting anything. Even with all those names. So number 234, number 2 is jersey number. I wanted to hit Samoskevich or Mitkov, and I got the low numbered, jersey numbered red canvas. So I was able to hit one of the canvases, which was one of my strategies. So it's nice when a strategy works out. You know, even if, had I bought one box as opposed to all these names at $99, I would have been happy. So now I feel like I can relax and enjoy the break. Although seeing that Messi in the background, those two beautiful cards in the background that aren't mine, it's kind of painful.
It's the Minnesota Wild captain, Jared Spurgeon.
See, he's a guy I could have gotten easily for $2. Just wasn't motivated to. Also, I had to stay on budget and pick my poison.
It's only going to do break 4.
All right, so we're on the board.
Oh.
What's going on?
You want to talk about a legend?
Let's go!
19 on 25 for the greatest defenseman.
Let's go!
On card in.
Let's
That
go!
is sweet.
What? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
That was my underlying strategy for the entire break, was to have a couple of legends with the opportunity to hit a high upside legend. I didn't even need a horror. I was hoping for Carbonneau, who I didn't secure, by the way, or Robinson, somebody like that. I thought the most prominent one would be Liut, but I wasn't able to secure Liut. Someone, you know, I wasn't paying over $4.25 per spot. Anyways, so there you go. So now we have hit 2 cards, and we basically hit, I don't know, you know, the value of the card, certainly like a $400 card or something, but it doesn't matter. That's a PC for me. I am a massive Bobby Orr fan. I have his rookie card, as you can imagine. So targeting Boston, targeting Potra, targeting Espo, targeting Bobby Orr, we ended up hitting. So now we can just relax and enjoy the break. Now I have to say that's the case hit. Those two, obviously the 1-on-1's also a case hit, and Messi is also a case hit, but I'd say the Bobby Orr is certainly a case hit. So we were very, 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 very fortunate in casting a wide net to hit the case hit.
Awesome.
Awesome is
Let's
right.
go.
Let's effing go.
Next one. This case keeps up living right now. Because now we got Nick Suzuki.
Oh, this is
5 of 25,
painful. I bid on Nick Suzuki, and
We are cooking right now, guys. We are
somebody outbid me.
We're halfway there yet.
I could have secured him probably for $6, but I didn't go over my $4 limit.
Highs are highs and lows. We probably low and clear cut. Oh my god, guys. Here's Mira Heiskanen with the high gloss. The update from 22-23. That is the first print. 1 of 10.
That's a bit painful for me. I have to say that's a bit painful for me, because I debated whether to take Heiskanen. I debated it for a while, and I was like, I have enough 22-23 updates.
There's Jalen Chatfield with the next one.
All right, so now we're hitting all the generic ones, which are very common,
15 down, 15
because some of the case hits have been hit. So we're going to hit some pretty bad ones at this point. But we're on the board. We have 2 hits.
You got any Darnay?
I wanted Darnay. I'd consider Darnay. I actually like him, and he cost $2, but I was just being frugal at that point. I was picking my poison. I didn't want to use up my entire budget, and I can get him easily.
Clearly reveres.
No!
13 of 25.
I was literally texting my girlfriend and forgot to bid on the Carbonneau. And Carbonneau's really hard to hit. He has 2 cards in the set, but that's a numbered card. It's really hard to hit. You can hit him very easily and leave. So I got screwed there. Let's go!
The man with the crease in Chicago now.
Ran out of space there for a second. So We do have Spencer Knight. I wanted Logan Thompson or Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight, I think, is really undervalued right now, and he's going to be a high-frequency goalie with Chicago. And that was the number to 25 outburst. Unfortunately, not the 101, but we'll absolutely take that.
So you're still good with that Suzuki. The next one up. You guys don't know about this guy, then you're going to find out soon enough. Once
I have Dostal as well. So now we're totally in the black. That's awesome. So I was targeting a couple of guys who are on the Upper Deck Canvas checklist and other checklists who are very prominent, and Dostal was one of it, and we just hit him again. So now that's just an example of our strategy. I wanted to hit goaltenders, and I wanted to hit names that were on the Upper Deck Canvas checklist and also on the champs, and champs are very common. We ended up hitting both, so that's why that worked out. And I definitely have Dostal, which is great.
We got a man who was almost straight at the deadline. Brock Besser, Supreme Skill.
I did bid for Besser and I got outbid, which is fine.
Besser, nice hit. Yeah, the 20 game sussy, that'll get you.
So at this point, I'll just take one more hit.
Next up, we got Ridley Gregg. Bad day to be empty now with this guy's on the ice.
So there's some cases where you're only going to hit Ridley Gregg's.
Stock Columbus Blue Jackets, but in Samuel Nasco.
So all the guys who you can bid with confidence that you'll hit them within the break, the common, they are the mass-produced rookies, right? Those you expect them. So we've hit so many good cards here in the case. And I do have Matt Savoy because I knew he's very prominent in the product in that he was on some of the more pretty checklists, and in fact, he is on a sweet shot. So this is my first sweet shot. So by rounding out, choosing some names of guys who are very prominent, I was able to hit the Matt Savoy. I'm actually surprised that I wasn't able to hit a Casey Middlestat yet, or, a Potra. Assumed to hit him because he's all over the checklist, but a Savoy you're going to hit. Or a Ty Cartier, right? Who I actually picked. I have a Ty Cartier down here, so you're going to hit one of those.
This is not too bad one. Ivan Moroznachenko.
Yeah, now we're into the base rookies, which are very, very frequent. So can I hit one more? I don't even know how many I've hit at this point.
I saw Hawks. Cole Gutman.
Yeah.
Him, Gus Stauber, the teases.
You're going to hit a Kaiser, a Gutman. You're not going to hit a Bedard on average, although he is very prominent in the product across checklists.
It is another Vincent Desharnais.
So he's hit twice. So Dostal's hit twice, so here's the bad collation. With regard to Bedard, we could have maybe opted for Bedard, but I think it was $350 for this spot. You're guaranteed to spend over $300 for that spot. If you're able to get him for less than $200, maybe worth a gamble, but I'd rather target him directly on eBay at this point. He has so many cards across the hobby.
Next one is a portrait autograph. Ilya Samsonov.
Oh, I thought about Samsonov. That's painful. I could have gotten that one. I actually like Samsonov, a big defender of him. And I'm happy he's resurrected his career with the Knights.
Another Toronto Maple Leaf, it is Ryan Reeves.
That's hitting a Reeves is a bit like hitting a Del Vecchio. They're not necessarily super easy to hit. Although I do see him quite a bit.
Good luck one more time, everyone.
I really wanted a Vachon, but he's really hard. Grand Fear is almost impossible. That was a mistake choosing him.
Just for one time.
He's on one checklist. Last card.
It is a Florida Panther. It is Brandon Montour.
I was hoping it was Barkov. Barkov's very frequent. I was hoping for Barkov. But you know what?
There we go, guys.
Montour I could have gotten, and he hit twice. Yeah. So let's count. 1. So I've hit 1 thus far. I'm going to just count them out here. 2, 3.
Jared Spurgeon. Hugh McGinn. Martina Pospisil. A nice Dustin Wolf here.
Oh, I wanted him, but he's too expensive.
Ilya Samsonov. Samuel Nasco. Ridley Gregg. Vinny Desharnais once again.
Twice.
Stephen Chatfield. Tyler Clevin. Akito Rose.
Easy to
Spencer
hit.
Knight at 25.
4. That's a great one, by the way. 5. That's another great one. See, I should have had that. I was distracted. I shouldn't have been my girlfriend. Oh my god, I wish I had that one. Oh, the Sabakura are parallel? It is, isn't it? Didn't even realize that. It's a numbered parallel. Yeah, I almost bid on him. I like Romanov, but it's a shot blocker. You can't hit all the legends, but it's absolutely parallel. I think it's numbered to 25. That is beautiful with that cracked ice in the background. So that's 6. So that's 6. I mean, arguably hit the case hit. Yes. Whew. So in sum, we ended up hitting 6 cards, 5 names. So we ended up hitting about 17% of the names that we had, which is, I think, a pretty good ratio on average. It gives you an idea of what you'd hit, including the Or, the 2 of the Dostals, the Matt Savoy, the Michikov, which was a beautiful red ink canvas. And the Spencer Knight Outburst of 25, that's a great card, but obviously had we just hit the Or, we would have been elated. So let's go back to our strategy, take a peek here. We wanted prominent players. We weren't able to hit, so we did hit Savoy. We didn't hit Beck, even though he's very, very prominent. So that strategy kind of worked. Boston, because they appear often. Strangely, we didn't hit Poitras, even though he's hit all the time, but I was able to hit Or, so, you know, got very lucky there. Legends, I was right about Carbonneau, but I didn't buy him, which was a mistake on my part, by the way. Rookies that are in the Black Diamond Myriads, there weren't really Myriads in here. I think there were in the other case. Laferriere, Cooley, Levi, we never hit those, unfortunately. Mass-produced based rookie cards, they did appear, even though I didn't necessarily secure any. Upper Deck Canvas, this is where our strategy really got good, because I did hit the Dostal, you know, that's exactly what I wanted to hit. Mass-produced based updates, very unlucky, because this case had very few updates, and the ones that they had weren't ones that we hit. Feel Good Legends, well, I hit the Or, so I'm happy with that. It would have been great to hit a Heatley, or I didn't get the Liute, I didn't secure the Liute. Goalies, yes, Wolf did hit, Levi didn't, got unlucky there. Shesterkin missing the S, Thompson, Liute, but I did hit the Spencer Knight, so that did work. Habs, the Carbo hit, the Suzuki hit, the Beck didn't, unfortunately, so I was very unlucky in that sense. Champs, Black Diamond, Supreme Skill. Yes, Supreme Skill hit. So I was right about that. Champs did hit. Black Diamonds did not really hit in this, but I think they hit on the other case. So for $98, I ended up hitting 6 cards, including the case hit. So that's very, very good. I averaged $2.80 per spot. I hit 14 names on the checklist I secured, but I ended up hitting 20% of the entire case, I think, because 6 out of 6 divided by 30 is 20, isn't it? Yes. So yeah, and then the price I paid was only 3% of the case to hit 20% of the case, including the case hit. Now, before I go, I thought I'd do something really interesting. I went back and looked at the other case broken on this channel, which I didn't buy into, and I wanted to see, had I chosen these names, would I have done better in the other case or in the case that I bought into? Luck of the draw, right? So did I hit the same amount of cards, different amount of cards? Is 6 cards out of 30 normal or abnormal if you're being strategic? And I think I was fairly strategic. Not all my strategies worked, but I mean, they were thoughtful. So lo and behold, 2 Casey Middlestats hit, and he's somebody I did pick for my break and didn't hit. 2 of his hit. The Devin Levi did hit. So, you know, I think a Wolf also hit, but I would have hit the Devin Levi. Joe Pavelski hit. It was actually a beautiful Joe Pavelski card. And then there were 2 Zach Werenskis, and that's it. But those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in the other case, I would have hit 6 cards as well. So basically the same percentage of the other case, except in that one, I didn't hit the case hit. I can't remember. Oh, the case hit in the other case was a McDavid, right? And I could have never afforded the McDavid because I would have had to pay like I don't know, $50, $100, too much money to take that chance, right? Because it's super short print. But very, very happy. So I ended up picking the right case, and 6 cards, even though I felt like I could have done better, is very normal because 2 cases, I hit 6 cards in both cases. So apparently if you're strategic, that's what you can do. So that's basically it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I don't have the cards in front of me. I'm doing it really fresh here, but it just shows be strategic, be thoughtful, and you can outperform. Why buy one single box, or why buy into random group breaks and not be strategic, or overpay for teams in group breaks when you can underpay and overperform. So that's basically it, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. I'd be Fultoncards. If you like these types of videos, let me know. Fultoncards live and direct from a place called Brooklyn, New York City. Let's go, Bobby Orr. Let's go.